So still on coordinate geometry, we have the distance between 2 points. So to find the distance between 2 points, we normally use the Pythagoras theorem. So it's like you have an x or y plane like this, and then you have one point here, another point there. Let's say this is x1, then this is x2. Then this one is y1, this is y2. So to find this distance, you can start by finding this distance here. So the distance from here to there is x2 minus x1. And then the distance from here to there is y2 minus y1. So to find this distance, and remember that this is a right angle, you can simply apply the Pythagoras theorem. So the distance, let's say this is AB, and then this is C. The distance AB squared will be equal to AC squared plus BC squared. So on this part here, we are saying x2 minus x1, and the reason is very simple. It's like saying you have a line like this. You have 2, 4, 6, and then 8, and then you have a 0 like this. And then let's say I draw a line from here to there, and then I want to find the distance from here to there. Let's say the distance AB. So to find this distance, I can't just say it's 8 because I'm not starting from 0. So to find the actual distance, I can say x minus 4. This minus this, the end point minus the starting point. So this is what will give us the formula. So AB squared is equal to AC is simply x2 minus x1. So x2 minus x1 squared. And then BC, you apply the same reasoning on the y-axis. You start from y1, end on y2, then the distance from here to there will simply be y2 minus y1. So y2 minus y1 squared. And then when you take the square root of both sides, you have what is known as the formula for finding the distance between 2 points on the x or y plane. This is the formula we shall be using. So you may not need to derive it all the time. It should be in your head somewhere. So let's try to use it to solve these problems. Find the distance between the following points. So first of all, we have 7, 13 and 2, 1. So you can just give these points names. This one will be x, y, x, y. Then let's call these ones our 1s, then these our 2s. So the distance between A and B, normally denoted by this. The distance AB is equal to the modulus of AB, by the way. You can say the difference in the x coordinates, you have a 7 minus 2 squared, and then plus the difference in the y coordinates, you have 13 minus 1 squared, then you introduce the square root, you write the square root, and then the difference between 7 and 2 is 5. That is 7 minus 2 is 5. Then you have 5 squared plus 13 minus 1 is 12 squared. So now you can just find the square of 5, which is 25, plus the square of 12, which is 144. Then you take the square root. Then AB is equal to this plus this will be 169. And then at this point, you can find the square root of 169. Sorry, my light died. So the square root of 169 is 13. So this is the distance between these 2 points. So let's work out part B. So on part B, we have 2, -3 and y, which is -3, 4. So we can just do the same thing. The formula is the distance or the modulus of xy is equal to the square root of, you find the difference in the x coordinates and square it, plus the difference in the y coordinates or the change in the y coordinates and square. And by the way, the order here doesn't matter. You can say x1 minus x2, or you can say x2 minus x1. The answer will still be the same because of this square. So our x2 here, let's name them. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. So our x2 is -3, then minus our x1, which is a 2, then you square it, plus our y2 is a 4, minus our y1, which is -3, and square. So you can say -3 minus 2, you have a -5. So this is -5 squared. And then 4 minus 3, you have a 7 squared. And then -5 squared is the same as -5 times -5. So the answer here is positive 25. So -5 squared is 25. And then 7 squared is 49. So now let's add these two numbers. So 4 plus 9 is, 5 plus 9 is 4, which is 14. And then 2 plus 4, we have a 6, plus this, we have a 7. So that means we have a 74 here. So in additional mathematics, you're not required to find the square root all the time. But if you want, you can still punch this on your calculator and find the square root of 74, which is 8.6023. Let me write it down. This is 8.6023, and then when you round it off, you have 8.62 units. So you can either end here or here. So if a number is not a perfect square number, you can leave it like that. There is no problem at all. And then on part C, we have a bit of algebra. Oh no, this is part D. So on part C, we have these 2 points. So to find the distance between M and N, we can say the magnitude of MN is equal to the square root of, I'm not going to write the formula again, it's here. So you can say 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0 squared, and then 5 minus 0 squared. Remember, you are subtracting the x coordinates and squaring, and then you are subtracting the y coordinates as well, and then you are squaring. So 0 minus 0 is 0 squared, then 5 minus 0 is 5, put your square, 0 squared is still a 0, and then plus 5 squared, you still have this. So you can either write this as 25, or you can, okay, let's just write it as 25. So the square root of 25 is 5, and you are done. So what I was trying to say here is, when you have the square root of a number squared, you can simply say this and that will go, then you have this. Because by definition, the square root is 1 over 2. So when you expand the powers there, you have this, then this and this will go, and then you have a 5 to the power 1, which is just the 5. Then finally we have part D, which has a bit of algebra. So let's work it out. So on part D, using the same formula, you can say the modulus of PQ is equal to the square root of x1. Let's just give them names. So these will be our 1s, these will be our 2s. So our x2 will be 0 minus our x1, which is an a, and then you square, plus our y2 is an a minus our y1, which is a 0, and then you square. So now 0 minus a is still minus a squared, then a minus 0 is still a, you square. And then now you have negative a squared. Negative a squared is the same as negative a times negative a. So this is positive a squared. And then plus a squared. So these two are like terms, you can add them. So this plus this will be 2a squared. So at this point, you can separate these two by saying this is equal to the square root of 2 multiplied by the square root of a squared. Then the square root of 2 is an irrational number, so you can leave it like this. And then the square root of a squared, remember, you can just do this. The square root of a squared is a, because a times a is a squared. Then when you multiply it by that, you have this. So this is your answer. You can even put units here. So we can end here for today.